What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is Black Box. Now, this one comes from Amazon Studios. It is directed by, and please bear with me on the pronunciation, Emmanuel Osei Kuffour. In this one, after losing his wife and his memory in a car accident, a single father undergoes an agonizing experimental treatment that causes him to question who he really is. It runs at an hour and 40 minutes, and just like with the previous film, and I only mentioned the previous film that I just reviewed, The Lie, because it's a part of this series. I had never heard of this, never saw a trailer, poster, set photos. It just kind of came out of nowhere, but it is a part of the Welcome to the Blumhouse series, where they're going to have 4 films from Blumhouse and Amazon Studios to be released on Amazon Prime in the span of 2 weeks. So 4 films, 2 of them being released on October 6th, The Lie and Black Box, and October 13th, the other 2, Evil Eye and Nocturne. So yes, I requested all 4 of them for review, so you're going to get all 4. And I'm hoping that my opinion is all over the place, because that's what makes this selection interesting, is that you have 4 films that they're going to kind of just throw at you. You're going to pick whatever one seems interesting to you, and yeah, hopefully it's great, or maybe it's bad. Who cares? It's film is all subjective, so I love that. So I never knew what I was going to expect going into any 4 of these films, but this is the second one. And unlike The Lie, which I did not like, I like Black Box. That's a good one. Yeah, it reminds me of a really good Black Mirror episode, which some people, when they watch this film, could say the same thing, and that might be a criticism towards some people, where this film feels small. It feels like it's meant for TV. It doesn't feel like a feature film. It doesn't feel cinematic or big in scope. It feels like just a really good pilot episode to a new TV series or something. So that might be a complaint that some people could probably have on this one. And to be honest, I understand that. And that might be my only kind of maybe slight criticism, is that it does feel like a TV episode. It doesn't really feel like a movie. But you know what? I think everything else is so well executed that I can excuse it just for this one. But director Emmanuel, I think he's balancing a lot of different things here, and I think he does a really great job kind of executing this kind of futuristic hellscape that he's created. But in terms of creating atmosphere and suspense and just the intensity and the unraveling of this story, I think he does a pretty great job setting this up with a great premise of a man that's, waking up, from an accident. He's stumbling through life. He's trying to remember his daughter's name and, where he works, and just remembering all these things. And so automatically right there, that's a great hook. And I think as we get to the end of the first act, into the second act, it just gets crazier and crazier, but it doesn't go so overboard to where it doesn't make any sense. You can actually retrace everything back in your head, and you're like, okay, that makes total sense. Well, we have this cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs person, trying to take advantage of this technology for her own personal gain, and it's really affecting this man's life, and it's just, it's really sad to watch on his end, but it really evil and chaotic on her end. But yeah, it's just something that kind of just unravels into this crazy rabbit hole type of story that just kind of keeps you on edge and keeps you interested. And I think for that hour and 40-minute runtime, it's a smooth watch, man. It's a very, very well-paced film. So in terms of intensity and atmosphere, I think Emmanuel created, definitely made it creepy, horrific in some parts, really great sci-fi. It just makes you think about all this stuff, because this could happen in the future when when we're able to capture dreams or capture memories in full on virtual reality. It's scary to think this film is predicting something that's not so far behind, and that's where I'm gonna get into the Black Mirror aspect, is that it focuses on futuristic stuff that seems otherworldly, this would never happen, but capturing people's memories and virtual reality of past memories and being able to see them in full-on HD, 3D, whatever. It doesn't seem like it's so far away, but in this film it's very futuristic, and it has that aspect where I could see people using it for good and for evil, and unfortunately someone uses it for evil in this film. But it's, once again, a cautionary tale, to where if something like this were to be created, how would people respond to it, and what would they do with it? So once again, kind of posing that question as a director to the audience with this technology in hand in Black Box. So, yeah, and so that's where, kind of like I said, the Black Mirror aspect kind of comes in. And the other thing that he's kind of balancing is the real human story to it, because there's a lot of emotional layering that's happening within this thing. There's a bunch of different characters that he's kind of balancing out, whether it be the main character that we follow, the doctor that he interacts with, the daughter, his friend, maybe someone else that was involved with the car accident, or maybe someone that he has encountered in his life. Like, we interact with a bunch of people, but Emmanuel never loses touch in terms of capturing the human touch to it, where like every single one of these people are struggling with something, and you really feel for them and really kind of get to the center of like why people why they are the way they are. You know, when the secret's kind of unraveled, we get to see it from a different point of view, and it's really great stuff, and you care about everything that's going on and all the characters, and it's just really well fleshed out storytelling. And I think like I said, the emotional intensity and what these characters kind of going through, like kind of regaining your memory and like really coming to this revelation in terms of what's happening to you. There's a lot of like an emotional kind of underbelly to it, and I think it's really kind of explored here. And I thought it was really well done. I think that's once again kind of reminded me of a Black Mirror episode where, yeah, it's a cautionary tale of like the future and like what technology can do, but there's also some real human elements to it and some real thematic stuff that we all go through on a daily basis. And I think this film does a pretty good job at that for sure. But you don't have that really great emotional stuff or really great stuff to convince us that this sci-fi is real if you don't have great performances. I think everyone does a great job. My two favorites, I think, are Felicia Rashad, who plays the doctor, who operates on Mamou Dao Athi. He plays the main guy that we follow. And, you know, he and her interact quite a bit throughout the film, and they have like that genuine connection, even though they've never really seen each other before. And I thought when he was interacting with his daughter or his friend or just trying to figure out what was going on, and there's even a switch that he has in the middle of the movie. I'm not going to say why, but he has a switch, and it's a complete character transformation that you really have to like sink your teeth into and really convince us that you might be another person. And he does a fantastic job at that. He's a really great lead to follow. And I totally forgot that he was in a couple films I saw earlier this year, but I'm glad that he has kind of like his own vehicle to play with and just be the lead in something and really kind of shine through. But I thought everyone did a fantastic job playing their roles, just their part in it, and I thought everyone just kind of all worked together really well. So, and especially Mr. Athey here as the lead role. Wonderful stuff. Like I said, is this going to like break any barriers in terms of like science fiction or horror? No, but, and you know what? It was presented to me. I saw it and I thought to myself, you know what? This is a good little movie. And I think if you were looking for something kind of more science fiction-y than like horror, but it is horror science fiction mix. There's some really, I forgot to even mention that in terms of performances. Once again, I'm trying to like dance around spoilers. There is a couple of instances with a contortionist. Some of the best contortion work I've seen in quite some time. Even better than like when the actresses would play the ring girl Samara. The contortion work in here is creepy. It's unnerving, it's unrattling, and I don't know who they hired for it. Shout out to you. I hope you watch this review because I'm going to give you a shout out. Yeah, some really great contortion work. We're just, once again, playing into the horror aspect just as much as the sci-fi. Once again, great balance. But yes, going back to the overall thing, it was just, I thought it was a pleasant watch. It was something, different, and, it's just a small little movie. It's coming on Amazon Prime. So if this is right up your alley, I'd say give it a watch. I'm going to give it a B. A B for Black Box, so a triple B. There you go. yeah, I liked it, man. Like, the more I think about it, like, the ideas that were presented and just everything going on, I'm just like, man, what if this were to happen? Like, who would take control of it? Like, who would use it for good? Who would use it for evil? Like, it's fascinating stuff, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I dig it. So yeah, let me know what you thought down below. A Black Box, whether you loved it, you liked it, or hated it. And let me know in the comments down below. But yes, that will do it for this review, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get up to date so whenever I review anything. If you're more of a podcast person, you want these in audio form, you can do just that and subscribe to the Real Me and Cole in the Movie podcast feed if you don't want to see my ugly mug. But yeah, that will do it for this one, guys. I'm Chase Lee for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.